Man, this Paramount Warner Bros. Merger stuff is really getting insane. Now we've got the Iowa Attorney General saying she's going to sue California. She's going to take California to the Supreme Court over the Paramount Warner Bros. Lawsuit because Rob Bonta keeps wanting to stall things out. And we know it's about CNN. We covered that yesterday. But yeah, this is an interesting wrinkle, isn't it?
Yeah, so apparently she's saying that he's going to cause the prices to go up, and that, you know, basically that prices have been out of control and no one's stopping it. And basically, without saying Disney, she's saying the one that has the most is you know, jacking the prices up on everybody else, and they need competition to keep their prices down. Again, as I said with other states, if they're unrelated to, you know, Hollywood, I think it's kind of a waste of taxpayer money. And I would say the same thing here. I wouldn't be happy as a taxpayer. But, you know, hey, I kind of, you know, go them for, you know, basically like, screw you, Bonta. But as a taxpayer, I wouldn't be happy that you're using my money to do that. So
yeah, this is definitely a private business matter. But again, it's, you know, we've dragged state attorneys general into the situation.
They drug themselves into it. So I guess, you know, it makes sense another one goes the opposite way, because they're the ones that made it a big deal. They keep saying it's because of costs. Yeah. And she's arguing the opposite. It is because of cost that it's, you know, we need it to go through.
So let's talk about this. And again, personal opinion is this is all about CNN. This is all, you know, this is what it's actually about if you read between the lines. But anyway, before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you get woohoo if you do. Woohoo. If you'd like another woohoo, you've got a couple of days yet to back Geeky Sparkles Retro Halloween Revenge Glowing Enamel Pin Campaign on Kickstarter. This is a reoffer of pins she did last year. They glow in the dark, and we've added me as a vampire, and you can get the set, and we can go trick-or-treating together this year. Look at that. She had to go by herself last year.
Yeah, you don't like that. No,
anyway. I didn't like that very much. All right, so let's talk about this. It's weird because all these mainstream media outlets have been forced to acknowledge the Daily Wire, because
that's funny.
That's where it came from. Like, I'm not a huge fan of the Daily Wire for reasons, but this is where Brenna Bird, I guess, who is the Iowa Attorney General, she posted an op-ed piece. Why is everybody posting like these op-ed pieces about, like, you know, we're going to save Hollywood. Because
they're not allowed to have a voice otherwise. You know, it's going to be narrative unless you can get someone to carry your op-ed so you can actually, you know, tell it from your side.
But she put the op-ed out there, and then all the mainstream media outlets picked it up. It is very interesting that, again, she went to the Daily Wire, probably because, like you said, nobody would listen to her otherwise. It's like, oh, you're an attorney general from a flyover state? Pfft, we don't care. Right? We don't care. So we'll cover it. We'll go out to Variety first, and then we'll go out and see her op-ed. So Variety says, Iowa Attorney General says she's taking California to the Supreme Court over Paramount Warner Bros. Lawsuit. Brenna Bird wrote an op-ed for the Daily Wire that she's suing California for leading the charge in the lawsuit against the Paramount Warner Bros. Merger. It's almost all California. You don't hear about the other states.
No, they're involved, but yeah, all you hear about is Bonta.
It's like, yep, yes, boss, yes, whatever you say, boss.
Newsom said he wanted it settled, but he was that part. The only one he could talk to is Bonta, but I think Bonta's the one leading it, so that's what he was thinking. If he can get him to knock it off, the other ones will follow suit.
California is once again trying to be the country's regulator, and once again, California is defying common sense to raise costs around the country. She said that makes this a dispute between states, and the Constitution says those can only be heard in the Supreme Court. Ouch. Okay, it's unclear if Bird has filed any paperwork for her lawsuit or if there's any legal authority that the state of Iowa could invoke. However, the threat of taking California to the Supreme Court may be enough to bring AG Rob Bonta back to the bargaining table. Remember, he said he's not gonna talk to Paramount because he accuses them of leaking information. Paramount denies it. They said, we didn't leak shit. What are you talking about?
He probably leaked it himself and then tried to blame it on them.
This whole thing is a
reason to stall. It's so ridiculous.
This whole thing, they're basically trying to stall him out as long as they can and cost him as much money as possible. And it's basically punishment. It's like, we're going to punish you. I think it's going to go through ultimately, but they're going to make it as expensive as possible for Paramount to buy Warner Brothers. But at this point, you're going to FAFO. He will just pull the whole operation out of the state. I wouldn't.
Probably.
I wouldn't stay. I'd be like, screw you guys. Is this what it's going to be like staying in California trying to work with the state? Like, hell no.
No.
Bird argues that any Iowa family would tell you the cost of streaming is too high and that there are fewer quality shows to choose from. She says these are symptoms of one company getting too far in front and the competitors.
Disney.
Yeah, Disney. It could be Netflix too, but probably Disney because they're the closest comparison here. One company got too far in front and the competitors being too small to catch up. A merger between Paramount and Warner Bros. Would remedy this. Netflix dominates the market for streaming. Paramount Plus and HBO Max together are smaller than Netflix, smaller than Disney, and smaller than Amazon. The merger.
Yes. And they keep trying to argue that they'd have too much of a controlling share. And I'm like, even if they merged, they would not across the board. In no way are they going to be small or bigger than Disney or Netflix or some of these other places.
No, HBO Max is like a distant like fourth, and it's tech companies own all these. They don't have a problem with that. Netflix is basically a tech company. Disney dabbles in tech, but they do a bunch of stuff. And Amazon is a tech company. They don't have any problem with them getting involved.
Right, because it's them.
Because it's them, right?
And they don't have CNN.
They don't have CNN. The merger could create a company to compete, an estimated $6 billion in savings to reinvest, and a public commitment to release at least 30 movies in theaters every year. More movies mean more entertainment. More competition means lower prices. They're already starting to walk it back. I covered it in a video the other day talking about YouTube, and there definitely is streamer subscription fatigue because we've hit the ceiling at what people are willing to pay. I mean, YouTube Premium.
It's more than cable now.
It's more than cable. Yeah, YouTube Premium is like $27 now for the top tier for YouTube. For YouTube, $27. I'm like, what? But that's
what they can pay their people more. Okay,
Bullshit.
Hands out. Where is it?
Yeah. No, that was They said that it's a big deal that they committed to release 30 theatrical films. That means more real choice for the families deciding which subscription to keep and which to cancel. Well, that's it. We don't want that. We don't want them to be like, oh, hey, yeah, Paramount and Warner Brothers have some good stuff coming out. Maybe we should go see that instead of this Disney movie. More entertainment for small town theaters to put on the marquee, and even more work for the crews who build sets and run cameras. Iowans do not need an economist to explain that. Californians don't either. IATSE wants this to go through because they want production to ramp up.
Right.
I mean, everything's in a holding pattern right now. My understanding, I'm seeing reports out there that like nothing is being greenlit. Everything is in a state of flux. You've got a lot of Warner Brothers executives like preemptively leaving, like the guy who was in charge of Cartoon Network just left because I think they're like everything's in a holding pattern right now, which means they're not going to greenlight stuff. And it's going to be like the strikes to ramp production back up again. It's going to take a couple of years to get things back up. And in the meantime, a lot of people are going to, lose their jobs, lose their houses, but whatever. You got CNN.
Yeah, CNN.
So whatever.
Oh, no, it's a bunch of cable channels. I still say, okay, fine, we'll get rid of the cable channels, and after you get your way, just destroy them, like delete them. Be like, you know what? Yeah, we're just gonna shut them down.
I would just shut it down. I'd be like, you know what? Let the merger go through. We'll take care of it. We'll just pull the plug on CNN. Then you don't have to worry about it. Yeah. Oh, that would. No, you can't do that. I'm like, fuck, we can't. You said we promise. As soon as the ink dries, we will shut down CNN. Does that make you happy? We will shut down half of these cable channels.
Well, they won't say they'll shut it down because they won't let them have it then. But they'll be like, yes, we promise to not make it that we're not carrying them anymore. And then they just turn around and shut them down. Sell some and then shut the rest down. The ones they care about, shut them down.
Oh, we'll just merge CNN into CBS and then call it a day. That's what we're going to do.
CBS,
CBNSSNNT, NFT. There we go. We're going to add crypto to it too. CNNFT.
No.
There you go. Two storied American companies are frozen. She added, Warner Brothers cannot confidently greenlight a film, upgrade its technology, or sign a long-term contract without knowing whether it will even exist as an independent company next year. Paramount cannot execute its plans without a merger. Employees cannot plan careers. And a movie that does not get made this year may never get made at all. That's true. If they pass on it, it's easy to say no. It's easy to keep saying no. Because sometimes you got to strike when the iron's hot. And it could be like, yeah, we passed on that movie last year, but we're going to make it this year. It's going to be like, no, the zeitgeist has changed. And now we're seeing all these cheap horror movies do well. So that's all we're going to greenlight now. We're not going to greenlight your $200 million, whatever. Financing expires, talent moves on, and production slates are abandoned. No court ruling in 2027 can go back and produce the film that was never shot, and no Iowan will ever get to see that movie either. So it's Bonta along with 11 other state AGs, but you don't hear about them. They sued to stop the Paramount Warner Bros. Merger in July after the DOJ pushed the deal through. I thought it was illegal. How did the Department of Justice in the UK and Europe and all these, how did they all push this illegal merger
and they
through?
Keep saying it. Illegal merger. It's going to cost 4,500 jobs. I'm like, if Warner Brothers goes under and Paramount leaves, it's going to cost way more jobs than that.
Oh my God. Rob Bonta's open to Paramount talks if they put a lid on their lying leaks.
I bet you money. You know what? In my opinion, if I was a betting person, I'd put money on the fact that his office leaked it. Because he waited until like the night before. Yeah, I'd be like, oh, you leaked that information.
So Paramount says it did not leak discussions with the discussions with the Attorney General to the press. Why would they? Because it's gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. I mean, this whole thing just, it feels like they're just trying to stall them out as long as they can. They said, we share AG Bonta's concerns about the public discussions and misreporting that surrounded this deal. As we have assured the Attorney General's office, Paramount has not been the source of the leaks of any of our confidential discussions with the AG's office. We remain hopeful and stand ready to continue good faith discussions to resolve the Attorney's General suit and move forward with our plans for increased competition and increased output to the benefit of the talent and the entertainment workers. And I'm thinking, kind of reminds me of The Dark Knight. It's like, who'd you leave them with? Your people? Was it somebody in your office that did this? Because then he has a reason to be like, no, we're not talking. We're not going to talk.
I'm just saying, he's been looking for a reason to get out of it. It was going to be a meeting, and then suddenly, oh, I'm pulling because this was leaked. What the heck? And I'm kind of like, did someone leak it from there? Did someone leak it from his office?
Yeah, right. Well, okay, so speaking of backlash here, we'll talk real quick about the Mark Ruffalo situation. Now, if you remember a couple days ago, Mark Ruffalo was basically blasting Oracle because somebody that's on their board or was one of their vice presidents or something was talking about the war in Gaza, and he was like calling them genocidal, and it was kind of crazy to be like, we don't want these people in charge of Paramount and Warner Brothers. And they shot back. Paramount shot back and was like, why are you dragging
They're like, you're being anti-Semitic. And
you're being anti-Semitic. And now we've got people dogpiling on Mark Ruffalo. So, I mean, I can guarantee you this guy is not going to get hired at Paramount or Warner Brothers. So
they said they're not going to blacklist. But, now Jane Fonda jumped into it, too, because she's like, you're just trying to delegitimize criticism of the merger. And I'm like, but wasn't Ruffalo trying to delegitimize Paramount's buying Warner Bros. Discovery?
Yeah, it was
the
like
merger. I mean, dude.
It was a weird criticism. It was like, well, you shouldn't let the merger go through because this woman on their board said some things I don't like 2 years ago. I'm like, what does that have to do with the facts?
But he was trying to delegitimize the merger. So I'm like, it's the same picture.
Those Jewish Nazis are going to take over Hollywood. I'm like, what? So many things to unpack here, Mark. Okay, one, you're calling them.
Well, Fonda too. I'm like, Fonda delegitimized herself way back in Vietnam. So
yeah, there's that. Why doesn't she buy CNN back? There you go. She could buy CNN.
That would be okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but I'm also like, this is Hollywood, right? This is like, we've got a guy complaining about Jewish people running Hollywood. Okay? Hollywood. Like, this is the worst kept secret in the entertainment business. That like 2/3 of the powers that be in Hollywood are Jewish. Even if he gets blacklisted, unofficially from Paramount and Warner Brothers, like, I guarantee you all the other studio execs are going to look at him and be like, I'm Jewish. Do you think I'm part of the genocide? You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, Mark, the phone's not going to ring. I'm like, everybody knows the entertainment business. There's a lot of Jewish people. It's going back to the very beginning. Really not like, you could be critical of the war, but dragging it into this merger was really low IQ. It was really stupid.
Well, it's Ruffalo. What do you expect?
Yeah. I mean, this guy
thought it was funny that Fonda's like, you're trying to delegitimize criticism as he tries to delegitimize the deal. I just think it's pot or kettle.
So this is what she said, because she is Jewish. So especially as a Jewish American, I find it deeply troubling to see false accusations of anti-Semitism used to silence legitimate political criticism in the country.
Wait, political criticism. It's about buying. It's about
an entertainment merger.
It's an entertainment merger. You're assigning politics to it.
Anti-Semitism is real and dangerous, which is precisely why the charge should never be used as a cudgel against people whose political views you dislike. Well, then you should be.
Then he started
but you called them people who were partaking in genocide, and it was like that's kind of
okay. It's a translation from Fonda. It's okay when Ruffalo says it, but it's not okay when you say it,
right?
Because he's on my side. So
in this case, it's a cudgel against people whose political views you dislike. In this case, as dedicated a crusader for democracy as Mark, whom we're proud to have as a committee member and be in this fight with.
Mark he's on our side. That's what that means.
Mark has a First Amendment right to speak out about politics, powerful corporations, and this dangerous merger, full stop. But other people don't. If you speak out about politics and powerful corporations and pharmaceutical companies, you get blacklisted, you get booted out of Star Wars. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how come it's okay for Mark Ruffalo?
Because he's on the same side as she is.
Oh, here it is. Calling his criticism anti-Semitic is a smear to delegitimize criticism of the merger and distract from the question Paramount would rather not answer. Should one company be allowed to accumulate this much power over movies, television, and news?
You already know the answer. The answer is yes, because you already let Disney do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We know the answer is, should they be allowed? Well, the answer is yes, because Hollywood said nothing when Disney did it.
Larry Ellison's an oligarch. Oh my God. They're all oligarchs. Like you're complaining about.
Jane Fonda is too.
You're all okay. So you're complaining. But what's funny about this is I think he was complaining on Instagram. It's like, one Zuckerberg dude, with Meta. Two, Zuckerberg was standing behind Trump at the inauguration. You're using his platform. You have no problem with that. That's what I'm saying.
The whole thing's fun. It's just, stop talking, Jane.
John Cusack.
John Cusack is in it too?
What? John Cusack's in it, and so's who else we got here? We've got Simon Wiesenthal Center calls out Mark Ruffalo. Yeah, they're really stepping it right now. So John Cusack weighs in. What John Cusack have to say?
Whatever it is, it's probably on Ruffalo's side. So
Cusack said, responding to Ruffalo, solidarity, well said. So there's a whole article about how John Cusack is. And then we've got the Simon Wiesenthal Center calling out Mark Ruffalo too. It's like, dude, you really have stepped in it. But this whole thing, all of this is sleight of hand. It's all a distraction. They don't want to go through, not because it's illegal per se. They don't want to go through because they don't want the Ellisons. If it's somebody else, they'd be okay with it.
Politics. The reason they're saying it should be about politics, but that's the only reason they're mad about it. Because if it was about politics, it wasn't about CNN. If they were on the same side as them, we would hear none of this argument. Politics wouldn't even be brought up. It's only being brought up because they perceive him as being against their side. That is the only reason why. If he was like BFFs with them, then and his family was up their ass, they'd be like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever, thank God he's buying it, he's going to save Hollywood. They're only mad because of this is all about politics. They're like, we need to take politics out of it, but it's all about that. That's what this whole thing is about.
Yeah, if it was Netflix, they'd be like, oh, it's okay because they're going to keep CNN and the Obamas are going to get more specials. It's okay. That's fine.
Yeah, exactly. So don't tell me to keep politics out of it, Fonda, because that's what you guys are the ones inserting that in there.
Oh, God. All right. So we got to wrap this one up.
Yeah.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.